All right, guys, here is some of the reason why people don't close deals. Okay, so I'm going to cover intensity, but why people don't close deals. Okay. One, they are not in control of the deal, so they're not direct. If you're thinking of working in a chain, may God bless you, you're not going to close absolutely nothing. Okay. You only work on deals that are direct to vendor or through an estate agent, as in one of the decent estate agents, not a what they call the cowboy estate agents. Okay, because there's loads of cowboy estate agents. Okay, so either you work through a really good, decent, will never close a deal. Also, that when you agree a deal, you still need to control the deal somehow. The way to control the deal is tell them that, look, if you pull out, as in the seller pulls out, you will pay all our legal fee and all our expenses. And if we pull out, we will pay all your expenses. Does that make sense? That way you have some control over the deal. Okay. Make sure you have a good solicitor in place. We are that I'm dealing with. He's turned out to be a bad solicitor. For some reason, initially she was good, but now she's just lazy. Yes, could you mute yourself if you have noise behind you? So controlling the deal is very, very important. Okay, at all levels, which means that getting a good solicitor and making sure that she can exchange pretty quickly. Okay, completion can be done, later. It can be done in 1, 2, 3 months' time, but exchange as soon as possible. At the same time, one thing that most people get wrong is the intensity. Now, I'll tell you what I mean by the intensity. If let's say you approach 500 landlords, okay, 500 landlords. Of the 500, you should have anywhere between 5 to 15 contact you back, okay, if you're doing a good job. So anywhere between 1 to 3%. But just because they got in touch with you does not mean you're going to close deals, okay? I would say if you're really good at this stuff, when you become really good at this stuff, you should really now close one deal in every 100 touch-ups, okay? Or every 100 contacts you make. Now the question is, how many contacts are you making in a day, in a week, in a month? If it takes you 5 months or 6 months to contact 100 landlords, well, that's the number of deals you're going to close. And this is with experience. Remember, this is someone like my caliber experience, walking in, connecting with landlords. I speak with 100 landlords. The likely is I'm going to close one. Okay? So if you don't have experience, it's going to take you longer. But to be able to compensate for that, you need to connect with more landlords. Does that make sense? Please raise your hand. Yeah. So if you are working maybe half an hour here and half an hour there, an hour here, an hour there, you'd probably look back 2 years later, 3 years later, and you'd be lucky if you just closed one deal. Okay. And please don't get me wrong. Even one deal can pay really, really well in property. But at the same time, don't expect magic if you're just not putting the work in. Does that make sense? Raise your hand if you see where I'm going with this, right? Remember, it's me plus 5 virtual assistants working on what we do that we do. Okay? So if you are on your own, you need to think of the intensity you're bringing into the business. Okay? This is your marketing, this is your operations, this is connecting with landlords, this is negotiating, this is appraising, the whole shebang. You need hands. Okay? And if you don't take hands, that's no problem at all. You need to put some work in. You can't say, I'm going to work an hour a day and I have no virtual assistants and I'm going to start closing deals pretty quickly. That's not going to happen. Okay? You really need to bring proper, it's almost like I can sit and I can consistently make calls and check online for 3-4 straight hours without a break. Without a break. Okay? And this is me literally doing that every day. Okay? And besides connecting with landlords and looking at deals, I still do another few hours. This is just connecting the landlords bit. Does that make sense? Okay. Or the other way is, if let's say you can only do maybe 1 or 2 hours, then you bring a virtual assistant, show them what needs to be done, and they can do quite a bit of work for you. Line up the landlords that you can pick up and call, so you don't have to do lots of virtual laptop work. Does that make sense? Okay, it saves you time. If it takes you 5 and 10 minutes to check one property, find who is the landlord, that's one property. If you're connecting with thousands of landlords, that's going to save you loads and loads of time. Okay, again, that depends on if you are looking to hire a virtual assistant or not. That's entirely up to you. But what I'm saying is that the assistants cannot make the calls for you. My assistants do not make calls for me. What they do is they do the legwork. They do the marketing. They look after all the social media stuff. They do loads and loads of checking on landlords and generating leads and doing lots of research on properties. But they don't actually physically make the sales calls. They're not capable of that. Okay. If virtual assistants become capable of making those sales calls, we would be doing amazingly well. They are not trained to that level as yet. Okay. It's very difficult to pick up someone from Malaysia, India, or any of the Western, Eastern countries and try and train them. Okay. It's very, very difficult. Okay. I'm not saying it's not possible. There's obviously the bigger companies, the Barclays and the BTs. That's exactly what they do. Even all the major banks. But remember, they have a much bigger budget and they have training teams all over the place, around Europe, around Asia. So they can do that really well. But don't expect that easily. Okay. That transition from a virtual assistant making calls for you is quite a bit of way. It can be done, but it's quite a bit of way. Okay. Please raise your hand if you see where I'm going with this. Okay. It can be done, but like I said, it's just time consuming. You need to have someone full-time training them, observing the quality of the calls that they make, giving them leads. It's the whole shebang, and it needs to be in place. I am working towards it, but I'm still at an early stage. Okay. But at the moment, all they do is all my legwork. They're the ones who bring intensity into what I do. Okay. I don't. All of the social media stuff is managed by them. All the networking is managed by them. People join the WhatsApp groups and the LinkedIn groups and the Facebook groups, the profiles. Everything is grown by them and not me. Yes, I'm the one who teaches them how to do it, but they're the ones who actually physically do the work. I don't. They're the ones who go on to LinkedIn and message 200-300 people a day. Okay? They're the ones who are growing the LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile, when I started, and it was up to me, we were at only 400 connections. Now my LinkedIn profile is at 20,000 connections. Okay. And this is all done by the virtual assistant. Same with Instagram, same with Facebook groups, same with WhatsApp groups, the WhatsApp community, the email database, even the contacts in my phone. When I started PEN, I was at shy of 1,000 contacts. At the moment, we are at 11,000. All of this work is done by virtual assistants and not me. Like I said, I have taught them how to do it, but they're the ones who are doing it behind the scene. And we are growing slowly, but we're surely growing. So when I looked at my LinkedIn profile a month ago, we were at 19,000. Now we are at 20,000. Even the WhatsApp community, it kind of grows and shrinks sometimes. Email database is growing. Instagram is shrinking for whatever the reason. YouTube is growing. All of that is growing by the team, not me. Okay. And remember, the reason I'm mentioning social media are the same places when people go and check about you. So for example, when let's say, find a property and I've said yes to the person, now this person wants to check who I am. They can go and check online about me. Okay. When I'm selling the franchise, people go and check about me. When I'm selling the property finance, which is my bread and butter, people go and check about me. All sorts of things, right? Even when we are negotiating deals with landlords directly, they go and check our profiles. Raise your hand if you see where I'm going with this, right? They would go and check, who you are, what you do, your experience, all sorts of things, and they can check all of that online. Remember, all of this gets done, even though I'm the one who creates the content. but it gets published, edited, and everything else at the back of that by the team and not me. Okay? So to be able to bring that intensity, it's almost like building credibility in the market, and it happens slowly and gradually over a period of time when your team is working alongside you. Okay? If you have never blogged, never vlogged, you have no online profile, you go to a landlord, you try and negotiate a deal, you're going to need someone with a bit more experience like me, and I'm happy to bring my experience on the table. I can take my CV, I can tell out building yours too. Okay? Because at some point, you're going to need to do that anyway. Raise your hand. Okay? Right. That's the intensity part that I covered. Okay? Now, the next one is faster, which was the intensity part. And what do my virtual assistants do? So I'm going to split this into sections.